The grand hall of the Zalorian Empire was filled with glittering crystals, golden banners, and thousands of alien dignitaries. The air itself shimmered with arrogance and superiority. Every race from the neighboring systems had gathered to witness a spectacle. The human soldier, Sergeant Eli Kane, standing trial before the 19-year-old Princess Varel of Zaloria. Humans had arrived in this galaxy barely 50 years ago, desperate refugees after Earth's near collapse. To the ancient alien races, they were nothing more than savages from a dying blue planet. "Remove your helmet, human," Varel ordered, her voice dripping with contempt. "We wish to see the beast behind the metal." Eli didn't flinch. His scarred armor bore the marks of 100 battles. The sigil of the Terran Defense Corps glinted faintly on his chestplate. "With respect, Your Highness," he said evenly, "I'm not here to entertain. I'm here to negotiate the safety of my people." The audience laughed, 1,000 alien voices mocking him. Varel leaned forward on her crystalline throne, eyes gleaming with cruelty. "Negotiate? You think you can bargain with us? You humans hide behind machines because your bodies are weak. Without your armor, you are nothing." A silence fell. Eli's jaw tightened. He could feel the weight of every insult humanity had ever endured. Primitive, brutal, unworthy. His people had crawled through extinction to reach this point, and now they were being ridiculed by a child who had never known hunger or fear. Slowly, deliberately, Eli reached up. Metal hissed. The armor plates unlocked one by one, falling to the polished floor. His chest was bare, his skin marred by burn scars, bullet wounds, and the mark of countless battles. He looked at her, not as a servant, not as a soldier, but as a man representing billions. "You wanted to see the beast." His voice was steady. "Here it is. No armor, no weapon, just human will." Gasps rippled through the hall. Even the guards hesitated. For the first time, the princess didn't have a mocking smile. He turned and began to walk, barefoot, down the long marble corridor toward the exit. The cold floor bit into his skin, but every step echoed like thunder. That was the day the Empire learned. Humans didn't need armor to be dangerous. Princess Varel couldn't stop thinking about what she'd seen. The human, Eli Kane, had stood in front of thousands, stripped himself of protection, and walked away without fear. No Zalorian warrior would ever dare show weakness in public. To her, it wasn't bravery, it was madness. Yet, it burned in her thoughts. Later that night, as twin moons shimmered over the spires of the Imperial Citadel, Varel slipped away from her chambers. Her ceremonial robes trailed behind her as she entered the deserted corridor leading to the holding wing. The guards had reported that the human refused food and rest, sitting silently in his cell, staring at the stars through the energy barrier. When she appeared before him, Eli didn't rise or bow. He simply looked at her with calm, unflinching eyes. "You shouldn't be here," he said quietly. Varel tilted her head. "You disobeyed me in front of the court. Do you not fear execution?" He shrugged. "Fear? Humans live with it every day. We just don't let it own us." His words struck her harder than any weapon. She had been trained to rule through power, to hide emotion behind the mask of royalty. But this man, this unarmored creature, spoke like someone who had seen the end and kept walking. She studied him, truly seeing him for the first time. His hands were scarred, his eyes tired. But there was fire there, a quiet, relentless fire that no alien nobility possessed. "Why did you take off your armor?" She asked finally. Was it pride? Defiance? He gave a faint smile. "Neither. You said humans are nothing without it. I wanted to show you you're wrong." Her lips parted, but no answer came. She had never been told she was wrong in her entire life. Outside the cell, thunder rumbled, the magnetic storms of Zaloria, Prime beginning their nightly dance. Varel looked out the viewport at the violent flashes. "You humans. You came from a dying world. You lost your planet, your people scattered across the stars. Yet you stand as if you still own the universe." Eli looked at the lightning, then back at her. "Because we carry Earth inside us. We don't need a planet to remind us who we are." For the first time, Princess Varel felt something unfamiliar, respect. Not for his weapons, not for his species, but for his spirit. As she turned to leave, she said softly, "Tomorrow, the council will decide your fate. I will speak for you." Eli raised an eyebrow. "Didn't think you'd care." "I don't," she said quickly, but her trembling voice betrayed her. That night, the 19-year-old princess couldn't sleep. The sound of his footsteps, bare, fearless, echoing through the hall, haunted her dreams. Morning light streamed through the crystal domes of the Grand Council Hall. Thousands of alien delegates filled the vast chamber, their metallic robes shimmering like liquid silver. At the center stood a single man, unarmed, barefoot, and human. Sergeant Eli Kane faced the council once more. Behind him stood the guards, and high above, upon the throne of judgment, sat Princess Varel. She looked different now, her usual arrogance replaced by quiet conflict. The Supreme Chancellor rose. "Human," he declared, his voice booming. "You trespassed on Imperial territory, refused to kneel before our ruler, and mocked Zalorian honor. Your fate shall be." "Wait." Varel's voice cut through the chamber like a blade. Gasps echoed. The Chancellor turned sharply toward her. "Your Highness." Varel stood, her silver robes cascading like starlight. "Before judgment is passed, let the human speak." Eli's eyes met hers, steady, calm. She nodded once, silently urging him on. Eli took a deep breath. "You call us savages," he began, his voice carrying through the hall. "You think strength comes from armor, ships, and titles. But humans learn strength the hard way, through pain, loss, and failure." The aliens murmured in disbelief. He pointed toward the stained glass above, the one depicting the Empire's 1,000-year reign. "You live behind walls of power. We lived through fire. When our oceans boiled, when our skies turned red, we didn't die, we adapted. We evolved. We built again." His voice rose with quiet fury. "We don't fight because we love war. We fight because there's always something worth protecting. Family, home, hope." A hush fell. Even the Chancellor seemed shaken. Then Varel rose to her full height. "The human speaks truth," she said firmly. "I mocked him because I thought he was lesser. But in him, I saw something our empire lost long ago: courage." The hall erupted in whispers. "Princess, this is treason," someone shouted. "Enough," she commanded, her voice trembling but strong. "If compassion is treason, then I accept it. This man will not die. He will walk free, under the protection of the crown." The guards froze. No one dared move. Eli stared at her, stunned. "You'll defy your own council." She smiled faintly. "Maybe it's time someone did." The Chancellor's eyes burned with outrage. But the people, the nobles, soldiers, even the servants, had gone silent, watching in awe. For the first time in centuries, the Empire saw its princess stand against fear. Eli stepped forward, bowing his head, not as a soldier, but as an equal. "Thank you, Princess." She met his gaze. "No. Thank you, human. You reminded us what it means to be alive." As he walked from the hall, still, barefoot, the silence broke into thunderous applause. That day, the story spread across galaxies. The human who walked without armor, and the princess who chose to walk beside him. Humanity had won something far greater than freedom: respect.